Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Quack Report. We got Nate back, so you don't just have to listen to me talk for, the next hour all by myself. And
what's up, beautiful peoples?
Yeah, it's great. I also enjoy having Nate back. There's someone to talk to, and I can actually have a break.
The feeling's mutual, man. I'm glad to be back.
That's good. Yeah.
But I did enjoy your episode, though.
You did listen. I was going to ask you.
Yes, yeah. I still did.
Did you watch us live on YouTube or Twitch?
No, I didn't. I didn't do that, but I did watch on YouTube after the fact, and it was a very good show. I'm very proud of you. You honestly handled that way better than I could. I like to talk, but I can't talk just by myself is the issue.
Yeah. So I had that picture of you at the beginning to kind of ease me into it. So.
Yeah, I was laughing at that, and it was very Jeff Merrick style, just on his own and can just carry the conversation still. And I'm very proud of you.
I'll take that.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. If you're Elliot Friedman, then I'll be Jeff Merrick. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. I'm just the one cracking jokes and giving some scoop when it comes out.
Yeah. And I'm the one talking about, what's their running joke, like the yellow skate laces or some shit.
Something like that. Yeah. And there's a Sportsnet commercial for them. Right. And it's Elliot Friedman. Yeah. Jeff Merrick. Yeah. He runs the podcast, or he keeps it. What's the line? I've seen the commercials so many times.
I know. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He carries the podcast. That's what it is. And that's Carter Potts as well. I'm really here. I'm the supplement, the supplementary.
Yeah. You're the guy that knows all the shit, and I just make it happen,
Yeah. You're just here, I want you to talk about this. All right. I'm going to talk about this then.
Yeah.
Such a good pairing.
So did I deserve a round of applause for that?
Yes, you deserve a round of applause. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Oh boy. Yeah.
You know who else deserves a round of applause?
John Gibson.
Hell yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Everybody gets a round of applause.
Maybe not everybody. Let's hold on a second here.
Well, me and John Gibson anyways, which I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Not for tonight's game against the Leafs, for the rest of the team,
but for everybody else,
But maybe for the Boston game, which we'll get into here momentarily. I am sure of it, because this is a Ducks podcast, and that's what we have to talk about tonight. Is the Ducks and the Leafs, and the Ducks and the Bruins. So,
yeah, which wow, we don't need to get right into it. Hey, there's no rush. So, how was your week? I guess I was gonna say the first bit of your week, but I guess it's actually been a full week since.
Yeah, it has been a week.
My fans have heard from you.
Yeah, it's been all right. Celebrated my birthday on the weekend, which was nice. Just met up with my parents and had dinner and went and played. We have, I don't know if it's a thing in the States, but we have the rec room, so it's kind of like an adult arcade pretty much. And had some fun there, and chilling in the rooftop hot tub at the hotel that we were at and everything like that. So, and after that,
nice. I was gonna say sounds romantic, and then I remembered you were with your parents.
With my parents,
your parents and your sister. I was like, that's a different. That's a totally different website that you need to go to find.
A little bit different, but just had a good weekend. It was nice to unwind a little bit. The last couple of weeks have just been a little crazy for me, so it was nice to just have a moment. And besides that, though, just trying to keep up with the Ducks and everything like that too, and stuff like that. So. Yeah,
it's good.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, what have I done? I don't even know. As little as possible. I'll put it that way.
Not always a bad thing, right? Yeah. Sometimes you need it. So.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like to talk about New Year's resolutions because I think they're stupid, and also it's the middle of it's the end of It's the end of January. It's the end of January, so I don't think New Year's resolutions are really. No one's doing them anymore. But
if you're still doing your New Year's resolution and you're watching the live stream here, let us know what it was or what it is. If you are still doing it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, one of mine was to work out more than I did last year, and I worked out 0% last year. So, but I've been doing some online boxing things. It's they do it as a live stream, and then you can just go and watch it afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And it's 15 minutes, and I just close the blinds and do it in my living room so no one can see me, because it's perfect. And I haven't done it a lot. I've done it twice, but I'm still doing it, and I did one on Monday. So there's that.
Boy.
Yeah. So It's kind of going.
At least the effort's there, right? It doesn't matter what you look like or anything like that, as long as you put in the effort, right?
Yeah,
that's what matters. So
yeah, exactly.
Good on you, bud.
Yeah. If anyone walked by the window as I was doing that, though, like, and I'm just like punching air at like 9 a.m, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is this guy so mad? It's only 9 a.m.
If anybody asks, though, you just have to say, I'm just pretending to be John Gibson kicking the shit out of Nick Foligno.
Yeah, there you go.
or Nick Delorier as well. But I guess
Yeah.
the other game, I think it was the one that you had talked about against Colorado there. But in that case, I guess he fought, but then he's on the bench later being like, I'm the guy who fights here. What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
that still is one of my favorite things. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. There was a fight in this game tonight too against the Leafs. Oh no, that was against the Bruins. Carrick and
Carrick
I was like,
there was a fight. I missed that apparently.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm just dumb apparently. So
they all just blend together. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess we can get actually before we get into it. I asked you this off air as well, but for continuity's sake of the podcast, because I talked about Lord of the Rings for a few minutes last episode because
oh god,
I didn't know what else to talk about. I was like, I can't just jump right into the Ducks. So but I posed the question to nobody in particular because I was just by myself, obviously. If Nate had ever seen Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I honestly have no idea. I've known you for what, 8, 9?
Yeah,
10?
It's like almost
10 years. And I was like, I actually don't know. So and I know the answer now, but do you want to, fill our listeners in?
I'll clarify that. Oh God, from earlier was not like that you're asking me about Lord of the Rings or that sort of thing. It's more the fact that I haven't seen or read the books, but I know the premise of it. Like it's been around long enough that I understand the premise and like some of the characters and everything like that too. I feel like the Lord of the Rings is, I mean, not to say that, other things I'm into, like especially like the Marvel universe or that kind of thing aren't time consuming, but like the Lord of the Rings films, I feel like are very time consuming, especially because what I've heard as well is that you have to watch the director's cut, right? Which are always like 3.5 hours long.
Oh yeah.
So I need like a time that like I can just sit and do that where it's not other things that I've been wanting to do as well. Like it is on the list of things to do eventually. It's just a little bit lower on it than some other things, but
yeah, no, it's fair.
But no, I get the jokes and all that for the most part, right? And like I get the gist of it and everything like that. So and like have an idea of how the story goes and that sort of thing. If you ask me about The Hobbit, though, I have no fucking clue.
You haven't even seen The Hobbit?
No, I haven't.
No? Oh wow. I actually saw those ones before I saw like all of the Lord of the Rings. Same as you. Like,
okay.
Like same as you, I knew kind of the premise of it, and I'd seen like parts of the movies, like they would be like on TV, like on those movie channels or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh well, there's nothing else on, so I'll throw Lord of the Rings on halfway through, and it's pretty confusing, but would not recommend doing it that way. But yeah, then I saw the Hobbit movies, and then I mean the Hobbit's a prequel, right? So like it kind of works, but there's like
a prequel that got extended into a trilogy even.
Yeah. I'm actually in the process of reading like the book of the Hobbit right now, and it's like it's not like it didn't need to be a trilogy. Like they made it work, obviously, but there's it could have been like a single movie, maybe two. Maybe
it's just a little bit of money grabbing. The Harry Potter universe is doing it. Also, they literally took like a maybe 40-page book that's just like a side thing of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I do have a copy. It's at my parents' house somewhere. But they're like, I mean, they're spinning that into a full-on movie series, right? Like it's going on its third movie now, which I haven't seen any of those either. So, but like I've seen all the like the original Harry Potter movies like multiple times. So, and I saw them in theaters and everything like that too. So, but just for some reason for the Harry Potter stuff, like the Fantastic Beasts stuff, it just never, I don't know. That for some reason just wasn't something I was excited about, but don't know.
Fair. Yeah. So the actually I think the only bad thing that's come out of Harry Potter is like when they split the last book into 2 movies, and they had to, right? Because like there was so much in there, and they cut so much from the book anyways. Like, but they still ended up with 2 movies, and that was fine. That worked. I had no issue with that, and I still have no issue with that. But like then everybody started doing it.
Yeah.
Like the Hunger Games did it, and like Twilight, whatever the fucking last one is of that, they split up. And then I guess Fantastic Beasts, like you said, it's a 40-page, like essentially fake textbook that's now going to be 5 movies. Yeah, it's
5. It's going to be 5 movies.
It's going to be 5. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, the movies are pretty good, but it's
okay. That's fine. Yeah, just another few that I need to watch and stuff like that too. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just curious because we talked about it last time. We got to tie everything back together.
There you go. Yeah, fair enough. So no, I understand the memes and everything like that too. So I have that much of an understanding that I can understand the memes at least. So
yeah, actually, I have a bit of a confession as well. I'm sure I've told you this before, and if not, it's not that big of a deal. But I actually hadn't seen all of the Star Wars movies like in order until just before The Force Awakens came out, episode 7. Like I'd seen them all, but it was like, oh, I just would watch like this one here, and oh, this one's on TV, or my dad's watching this one. I'll just like hop in and catch the end.
Oh, but like you hadn't like watched it in order of like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or like 1 to 6 kind of thing. Like you haven't, like you hadn't sat down and done that kind of deal.
Yeah, and there was parts that were missing. Like I don't think I'd ever seen like the beginning of episode 4 or like the beginning of episode 6, or I missed part of like episode 5 or whatever. Yeah, but no, I played the Lego Harry Potter, or not Lego Harry Potter, Lego Star Wars games like all the time as a kid. So you get like the gist of the story that way. Yeah. And like I knew who all the characters were, and like generally like, okay, this is Anakin, now he's Darth Vader, now he's dead, kind of thing.
Well, spoilers for an over 40-year-old movie.
Yeah,
Jesus
right. But yeah, it's the same thing. Like I knew the general premise, but just like never actually committed the time to sit down and watch it. So
that was one fun thing I did at the very start of the pandemic. Was I was still living with my grandma at the time, and she hadn't ever seen any of the Star Wars movies at all, actually. And she was like, but I have kind of wanted to watch them. And I was like, well, obviously I'm a massive fucking fan. I was like, we, have all this time. Do you want to watch them? And so we marathon them. Like I think we did like one a day, and including Rogue One and stuff like that. And Rogue One and Solo, like the 2 spinoffs there.
Yeah.
And but the thing
is, you watch the Clone Wars too?
No, I didn't. No, because that would have been, I would have been making her watch the entire series, not just the movies. So.
Yeah.
But no, so she hadn't, because she hadn't seen like anything, right? And I tried to kind of quiz without being spoilery, like, okay, do you know this? No, this kind of thing. And I was like, okay, instead, what we're gonna do of like watching the chronological, like if she knew some things, right? I'm like, we are gonna just watch it 1 to 9. And like you can watch the story unfold that way.
Yeah.
And so like she didn't know that Princess Leia was Luke's brother or Luke's sister. Like she didn't know that even, right? So like it was, and so it was a little bit different for her, because like myself growing up, like I went to Revenge of the Sith and I think it was like 2nd or 3rd grade in 2005, like knowing the original trilogy as well, right? So 9-year-old or like that'd be like 7-year-old me still knows like where we're going to, right? Like we're it's the rise of the Empire and everything like that, and the rise of Darth Vader. But it was fun to watch my grandma watch these movies from the very beginning, because she had a bit of a different Darth Vader reveal. She knew of the character of Darth Vader, but didn't know that Anakin and Vader were 2 separate, or like were the same people.
Yeah,
like the same person. And so she's like watching episode 3 especially, and like can kind of like see Anakin turning darker, and she's like, oh, but it's okay though, he's the hero, he'll come back, kind of thing, right? And be better. And I'm just like,
he comes back. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh no. And it's the anointing of Darth Vader, and she goes, oh my God. But it was cool because it was a different kind of Vader reveal of Anakin Skywalker being Vader, right? Compared to what everybody else has had since 1980 with The Empire Strikes Back. So that was a cool thing for me to watch. So because even I didn't get to experience that, right? Because the original trilogy was out, and when I was growing up, the prequels were coming out. So I was going to those movies, but knowing the backstory and everything like that, or I guess kind of the Force story, yeah, like knowing what was to come already.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool to watch it through her eyes as well, right? And she was able to just like watch it like from the very beginning to the very end. So, and then once that was done as well, the Mandalorian had just finished its season, like its first one.
Oh,
and so I asked if she was curious to watch that as well. And we binged that entire first season in one day. Like we just sat down and watched it all. So, and she was loving it. And I was like loving watching her watch it as well. So it was great.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, it's like a space Western and like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. From what I know of your grandma, she seems like she would like Western movies. So,
yeah. She's not a big fan of like superhero movies or that, but I did not really convince her, but the one that she was interested in actually was Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
And so I just gave her like, the couple little things that she had to know going into that movie. But then we watched that and she really enjoyed that movie too. So she especially enjoyed Jeff Goldblum's Collector.
Oh yeah.
So, or not the Collector, sorry.
Grandmaster.
Yeah. So yeah, she definitely enjoyed his character.
But when you told her like, oh, this green guy's name is the Incredible Hulk, was she like, oh, and I thought Ragnarok was a shit name.
I thought Grandmaster was a shit name.
Yeah.
Or Valkyrie or Korg.
Yeah.
Oh man, I used to be able to do an all right Korg impression. I don't know if I can really do that anymore though, so I'm not even gonna try.
Okay, that's fair. But, well, shall we get into these couple games here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Which one shall we start with?
Let's start with Boston. It's a bit more of a happier one.
Okay, sure. We'll get that out of the way as well. I don't have too much to say about this one. It was just a good, solid win. Kind of unexpected, I guess, against the Bruins because they were rolling before that, as I talked about on the last episode here. But
but it was also a healthier Ducks, right? So we got to see what we kind of saw at like the start of the season.
Yeah, we got both Terry and Fowler back for that game.
And so, like, we still have a couple guys out, but I think it started to calm the nerves a little bit of like, okay, is this team kind of collapsing or is it just injuries that are costing us right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this game kind of settled down a little bit of like, okay, we aren't a bad team. Like we still have a chance here. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I liked Getzlaf on that. I just traded for him in one of my fantasy leagues for him to have a 2-point night. Like first night I get him, that was awesome. Yeah, and like that big wind up on the slap shot. Well, I guess both of his goals were. Yeah, I guess both of his points. Sorry.
Yeah, both of his
the first one was actually tipped by Grant, but just like classic slap shots. Spezza's started doing that. Actually, we talked about this at the beginning of the season. That Getzlaf kind of modeled his new game against Jason Spezza a little bit.
Yeah.
So and like changed his stick to be able to take those like just big beefy slap shots. And look at that. He does that twice and he got 2 points out of the deal. So and without that, we potentially don't win this game. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought the team play all around was the biggest thing to me, right? It was, the defense was playing their game. Gibson was doing Gibson things. The offense was going, right? And obviously they were. It was like putting up 5 goals, if I'm not mistaken, in back-to-back games. Yeah, against Tampa Bay and Boston.
Of all teams, yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like those two.
So like 10 goals in 2 games for this offense. Like the offense was going in this game.
Yeah,
as well, which is great to see. So, and part of me kind of feels bad for Tuukka Rask, but part of me doesn't at the same time. The part that is feeling bad is, and I think even Boston fans need to kind of chill out for a second, and because they're already going with the chance of like bring back Swayman and stuff like that, which my fantasy team would have loved because I had him as one of my goalies, and we needed a rookie, and that was my rookie. But like Rask was supposed to have AHL games before he came to the NHL again, right? And Providence had to shut down because of their COVID situation. So Tuukka Rask being off for, at that point, like what, 9 months or something like that, has been in NHL practices and that, but obviously you can't necessarily replicate a full-on NHL game against other teams in practice, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be some bumps in the road. So and for some reason, like it doesn't matter what Tuukka Rask does for that organization. Boston fans just don't like him. But anywhere else, that dude would be loved. by the fans.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what other team it was. Like Toronto fans wish that they could go back in time and stop that trade of the that included Rask in that package for Andrew Raycroft. They wish they could go back and change that.
Oh yeah, especially given all the playoff series between Toronto and Boston.
And like the one team that he is, like Tuukka Rask bleeds black and yellow, right? And that fan base, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what he does. I think, honestly, I'm wondering if it's just because he wasn't the starting goalie for a Stanley Cup win, right? But no matter what that guy does, he always has Boston Bruins fans just nipping at him, right? And saying that he's not good enough and stuff like that, which I feel really bad for the guy in that situation, honestly. But, and he wanted to come back to Boston, and that's how you treat him. Come on. Come on. He had the choice to go anywhere else, and he decided that he wanted to be back with the team that he's played for his entire career, right? And for bare minimum, right? He's getting paid $1 million. That's retroactive for the season.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, though, I do appreciate watching Tuukka Rask get lit up for 5 goals. And the Boston Bruins get lit up for 5 goals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not mad about that.
So. No, I'm not mad about that aspect of it. So I'm definitely okay with a Bruins loss. So
yeah. I really liked in this game as well that we came out strong in the first. Like the second and third, we sat back a little bit, but we still had the lead and we still held the lead. It wasn't like sitting back in like a bad
it way. It was a nice sit back. It wasn't like a lay back, get comfortable kind of thing, right? It was still attentive, playing the way that we should and stuff like that in order to hold a lead potentially. So
yeah, and it was comfortable, and I think that goes back to what you said right at the beginning there, that we finally had like a 95% healthy team, right?
Yeah,
especially with getting Terry and Fowler back, because those guys play some big minutes. So
exactly, and another thing too is the special teams were going off this game as well. Both a power play goal as well as a shorthanded goal. A shorthanded goal.
Lundstrom's, that was awesome.
Just to start with, a shorthanded goal, but then a shorthanded goal against the Bruins, right? Like that's just icing on the cake. So like we don't have a rivalry with them or that sort of thing, but just that's a very good power play, right? And that you're able to actually break through that shorthanded against those guys, and score a goal. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't really have anything else to add about this game. If you don't, then we can move on. But if you do,
I got nothing else. So
okay. So the one that happened tonight, then a 4-3 loss in the shootout to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The scoreboard doesn't really tell the whole story on that one.
No, not even close.
What did the final shots end up being? 44-20 or 44-24, something like that?
Final shots were 44-20. Yep, in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The face-off percentage 62.5 to 37.5. Power play, again, it like we were talking about with Boston. Toronto's power play is insane, going 3 for 4 with the Ducks going 0 for 2 on theirs. The Ducks just were, the other numbers show that they were really on the, like on their heels a little bit. They have them having to throw the body around a bit more, 24-16 for hits, 17-8 for blocks. And we did better than the Leafs, but still 15 giveaways and 13 takeaways compared to Toronto's 23. That's like, we're lucky, honestly, to I think have come out with a point in this game. And that is,
that's just the nature of the Leafs, right? They cough up their 3-1 lead, and teams get back into it, get a point, maybe 2 sometimes. Yeah. So like,
oh damn, this was a 3-1 lead. That's been the new 4-1 lead for them. Oh shit, I didn't even realize that. Like this is a game that the Anaheim Ducks should not have had a point in. Let's be honest here.
Honestly, no.
And that the only reason that you have a point is one man. That man wears number 36 for your team, John Gibson.
Yeah, he gets one of these.
Yeah, that is the only reason that the Ducks pull out a win, or not a win. Pull out a point in this game, right? And unfortunately, again, it's what I've talked about before. That we get to the shootout, and at that point, Gibson is tired. But also, typically, when we get to games that are going into shootouts, they're similar to this one, where the Ducks are on their heels, and Gibson has to pull them to that point, right? So, I mean, obviously, it sucks that we keep, we're losing in the shootout more than we're winning, obviously, and stuff like that. But, it's at that point, you can, but you can't blame it on Gibson, right? Because yes, it's him who would have to stop the puck, right? And obviously, our Ducks shooters have to put the puck in and stuff like that. But at that point, like Gibson is just tired, right? So it's hard to have like that focus on even if it's just even though it's just the one guy coming in, right? Just to have that focus and like that mobility at that point, right? When your body is just tired and it needs to stop for a moment. So
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think we saw it on that very first one, the Spezza shot. Like, he just bit so hard on the first move, and like, I think if he was all
mind
there,
you,
like,
that was a very nice move. From
it was.
I can't
nothing to take away. Can't take away that from Spezza. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I think normally, like, if he would have been sharper, like, in other words, didn't have to make 44 saves. Well, not 44. I guess 41 saves. Face 44 shots in this 60 minutes prior to the shootout, 65, I guess, then, maybe he doesn't bite quite as hard, or he bites a little bit and is able to recover and potentially make that save. But yeah, because to your point, just because he was so gassed, it's like he bit on the first one and that was it. Then the next shooter you have to face like a minute later is fucking Austin Matthews. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, if he saves this, it's a fucking miracle. And then he didn't. And I was like, that makes sense to me. But
and who was the third shooter for Toronto?
Good question. Nylander.
Nylander. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, stopped him barely, but she stopped him. So
as Sav was putting on Twitter, future Anaheim Duck William Nylander.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about our third shooter as well. Future Toronto Maple Leaf Rickard Rakell.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more likely, unfortunately. Fuck me.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know with the Ducks in the playoff spot now, maybe not, but definitely last year that was a big rumor. So,
but I mean, even now, I think it is still enticing. Unfortunately, I know we had this conversation already, but I think because you don't think you're a contender, I think you still make the move anyway.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I might be wrong on that, but that's kind of my thought, right? You're not contending this year. You're still looking ahead. So
yeah, I mean, I think we can sneak like a nice deal out of Toronto because they're fucking desperate to do anything in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think honestly, from them for Rakell, even as a rental,
is another one.
Or even Colorado, yeah. I think Toronto's the preferable spot. I mean, he's a rental, so he can sign anywhere, I guess. Technically, he doesn't have to stay in Toronto or Colorado, but
but at least just for this season, I would prefer it in Toronto as well. Because if you happen to come against the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs and Rickard Rakell's on the other side, fuck that.
Fuck, yeah, no thanks. But I mean, I think out of with the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think we could easily get a first round pick and like an NHL ready, a prospect. I'm even hesitant to use that word. Like, I'm talking like Rasmus Sandin or like Timothy Liljegren. I'm trying to think of other guys. I don't think we'll get Bunting out of them, but yeah, like those depth guys that they just don't have room for on their roster. I think we could easily get that, and then we get a future player that's going to be awesome in a few years with that first round pick, and then we get a guy that's just can fill out the depth, another young guy to go on this young team. It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, the one guy that I would love, but I know it's not gonna happen, is Nick Robertson. That'd be
absolutely
amazing.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
but I'm not gonna go too far down that though, because it's not gonna happen. The Leafs aren't gonna give him up.
No.
So
going back to Timothy Liljegren as well. That
oh shit! Sorry, I was looking at the Leafs draft picks for this year, and if we get one, it's not this year's pick. Let me just say that right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs currently only have 3 picks for the 2022 draft. Their first round, their second round, and their 7th, which has a condition on it.
Oh boy.
Which is, try to do this on the iPad. Oh, that was the signing. Oh God, how the hell did this work?
Did they sign an RFA and then the 7th was like a? Oh no, the 7th isn't a.
Okay, sorry, I got to pull this up on the actual computer because it had like a condensed thing, but because on the iPad it's just a click. There's no hover.
Oh yeah. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, depends how desperate they are. Like, if they just want to win a cup now, I think every draft pick for the next like 2 years is on the table. Yeah, like I think if they get rid of everything and end up having no draft picks in the draft, but they actually like win a playoff round, then I mean they won't be happy, but the fans will be happy. So
okay, so this makes sense now. So sorry, it was kind of like a weird like 2 or 3 team kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So the Leafs got the signing rights for Brennan Mannell. And so the condition on the pick is Minnesota will receive the 2022 7th round if Mannell plays 30 games for the Leafs this season. Okay, now let's check on Brennan Mannell if he's played any games this
I've
year.
never heard that name, so I'm going to say probably not.
No, currently he's only been playing in the AHL for the Toronto Marlies. Cap friendly, which I'm not sure how reliable cap friendly is for the stats necessarily, but showing that he's only played 9 games, has 2 points.
Okay.
So, yeah. So basically, Toronto's going to have 3 picks, like 2 early on, and then they're going to be sitting for quite a while. So I hope Kyle Dubas is like playing, what's that game? Wordle or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, he's playing that for a couple minutes. Knowing Kyle Dubas and his smarts, he'll probably figure it out the first try. And I don't know. What are some old phone games like Candy Crush and stuff like that? So, but
I honestly don't even know like what you're trying to say here. So I'm just gonna say sure.
Kyle Dubas is gonna have some time on his hands after the 2nd round, is what I'm saying. He's gonna need something to do.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Maybe him and Brendan Shanahan will go play a game of golf, come back. Yeah, sorry. Just got back for the 7th round of the Toronto Maple Leafs select.
Yeah. Don't even bother like trying to trade up or anything.
No, like I don't see the Leafs trying that. So, but
yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, back to this game against the Leafs. Oh, about the shootout as well. The whole time I was actually more nervous that this podcast episode was going to be 2 hours long because I was just waiting for I guess it's not Eakins behind the bench, so that's probably why it didn't happen, but I was just waiting for Shattenkirk to go out for one of the rounds in the shootout, and I was like, fuck, this is going to be like an hour and a half of Shattenkirk and then half an hour of everything else, and then it didn't happen, which was good.
No, it was a legit shootout lineup for the Anaheim Ducks of Trevor Zegras, who like just squeaked it through, but still like, screwed Campbell up. Also, Trevor Zegras now 5 for 7 in his career on the shootout.
Not bad. That's good.
that's all right. That's a good start. And then Troy Terry and Ricard Raquel. That's what you would expect, right? Like a lineup to that. So I was very happy to see it tonight. That's for sure.
So. I know we've talked a lot about Dallas Eakins over the last, 2.5 seasons of this show.
I think everybody has.
Yeah, but we're saying this season, like, you know what? He's actually maybe not that bad. Maybe he's not what this team needs, but he's not a bad coach. So, like, if we kept him, that'd be okay. Yeah. If we got another coach, that would also be okay. But
he's at a fraction of the L's, like not standings L's, just like, lineup L's and that kind of thing. He's at a fraction of those. So, like, around this point of the season last year kind of thing. So,
but like, just coaching wise, I've had no complaints about the last 2 games. And you know who hasn't been behind the bench for the last 2 games?
Dallas Eakins.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. is this?
I see where you're going with this. As long as it's not Jeff Ward as a head coach, I don't care, actually.
Well, it's been Mike Stothers behind the bench, right?
For that first game.
For tonight, too.
Okay, so sorry, yeah, those 2 games, but against Boston, it was Jeff Ward.
Oh, it was him
as acting head coach. Yeah.
Oh yes, no, it was the Tampa Bay game was Mike Stothers, and then tonight was as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right.
Just
so I guess against the last 3 games,
got to win against Boston. Don't be like Jeff Ward can do it, because I can promise you, Jeff Ward can't do it.
Yeah,
I do not want Jeff Ward as it. So if Jeff Ward, for whatever reason in our future, gets hired as the head coach of the Anaheim Ducks, there will be an emergency podcast that'll just be a therapy session for me, being like, not again.
Yeah. I mean, I think, just in the 2 games that we've seen Stothers, I actually think I kind of like him as a head coach. It's hard to say because it's 2 games, right?
Yeah, it's only 2 games. You gotta.
We're kind of going through that. We're kind of going through that new coach bump, just like a little bit.
That every team does.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't be mad about it, but also like it depends who else we talk to, you know?
Yeah.
And like I said, I wouldn't be mad about keeping Eakins necessarily as well for another year. Maybe not 3, but like another year, maybe. We'll see.
So
we'll see. Yeah, it's not as bad as last year, but what else do we have to say about this game?
Last year, me is saying like, get him the fuck out of here still.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What else do you want to say about this game?
The team, I purposely titled this episode Ducks of Old because, the game against Boston was the Ducks of Old that we saw at the start of the season, right? That was looking really good. This game was the Ducks of Old of last year, where everything was just a shit show besides John Gibson. So just offense could not get it done tonight, could not hit the broadside of a fucking barn.
Yeah.
And on the defensive side, man, the amount of lapses that we saw, right?
Oh yeah.
And I know part of it as well was the penalty kill, right? They got a lot of work. You can't necessarily blame that on him when what's the I don't even know if this is exactly the Toronto first power play, but I'm just going to take a guess here. Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares with Morgan Riley as your setup guy. I don't want to fucking go against that. And I'm sure those guys don't want to go against it 4 separate times, especially being down 5-on-3. Fuck that.
Yeah. Did you see the lack of like excitement in their faces after that that third goal? Like, or just even before, like they were just all kind of standing there. They were like, we are pylons, do your thing, and that's about it. Like they
just
didn't
a little
move a lot.
little pivot. All right, okay. Because I get the idea of the triangle and everything like that, like, and how it's supposed to cover points and stuff like that too. But like, I don't know. For some reason, and I don't know if it's just because it was against the Leafs, or if I need to take a harder look, and the Ducks need to take a harder look at their penalty kill. But like, and I don't even think that's really the issue because it's so much better than it was last year.
Yeah, we were like, aren't we like 3rd on the in the league in penalty kill percentage? Maybe not after tonight, but I think before the game that we were.
Let me take a look here.
Because I've had 0 complaints about our penalty kill, and even like
except for like the last
5-on-3 against the Leafs. Like you strap me and you and one of our buddies in, and it's like, okay, you're defending 5-on-3 against the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, we're gonna look about the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's not much you can do, really.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, after tonight's game, because these stats are updated, I believe. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 30.6 on the power play over their season so far. Yeah, that's a little fucking crazy.
Is that first in the league?
Yes.
Jesus.
And for comparison, they have an extra percentage on the Edmonton Oilers. And almost 2% on the St. Louis Blues at 28.9. That's your top 3. Penalty killed. The Ducks are sitting 7th, 83.5%. For comparison, Carolina's first at 88.6.
Okay. Yeah, so, that's still a fine penalty kill.
I'm not disappointed by that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, tonight it wasn't there. And I mean, it's against the top power play in the league. So like, what else do you expect?
And to compare it to the rest of our division, right, which I guess really matters a little bit more. You got to see, you're against your rivals with that. Only the Calgary Flames are ahead at 83.6. So literally 0.1% better than us. After that, it's San Jose 2 points back. And then it goes down for a while. Vegas at 78.5. So the penalty kill is honestly looking all right. Just for some reason tonight, like definitely part of it was, they're tired as well. I get that. But yeah, it was just the defensive side of the game just looked lost again tonight. And it's just disappointing to see that kind of rear its head again. So, because like it's just, you're leaving Gibson out to dry there, right? Again, the shots were 44-20. That's insane. And he made multiple big stops.
Oh yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
That you're going like, holy shit, he stopped that, right? So, and he's been doing that lately. And
you mean like last 3 years?
But I mean, like, especially in the last week, it's very noticeable, right? Like he's got at least one of those types of saves in every game, like in the last week, right?
So it's the all-star bump, right?
Exactly. But this team they got to look at how he's playing and be like, we need to match that for him, right?
Yeah.
Like I was tweeting during the game tonight, I was like, please kill the penalty and not our goaltender. Like, come on, let's fucking go here. And another one as well was I had made a poll asking, if you're John Gibson going into the the second intermission, like what are you saying in the locker room kind of thing. And I gave two options. It was either like play some goddamn hockey or just stay silent and stare. And it was a very close race, actually. It was 56-44 for play some goddamn hockey. So
nice. Yeah,
but
I have a couple other things I want to say about this game, but just looking at the time, let's take a quick break as well. Throw it over to our friends at DraftKings, and then on the other side, we'll wrap up this game and get into a couple other things here.
Sounds good.
1, 2, 3, 4 teams remain in the NFL playoffs, and that means only 4 teams left for you to bet on at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 56, new customers can get 56-1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. Not a new customer? You can experience the conference championship with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code THPN, and get 56-1 odds on any NFL team. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. Again, that's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, for 56-1 odds at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, into still talking about this game. Never mind, getting ahead of myself. I want to talk about Silverberg as well, because he got his third of the season, first in a long time. And I was really happy to see that, especially because he had just got out of the box too. So that probably felt nice for him as well, because that was the penalty that put us 5-on-3.
Now 5-on-3, yeah.
So Lindholm got out of the box technically, but yeah, he definitely made up for that. Yeah. Just a well placed shot as well. Props to Buddy Robinson was the guy, just the drop pass, and then sets a pick on the Leafs defender to give Silverberg the open shot. Like, that was such a smart play. I love that. So
absolutely was just a great way to use that big body of his, right? The guy's like 6'5". Like,
yeah,
he's a big dude.
Yeah, there was literally nothing that the Leafs defender could do. He was just like, I'm pushing you out of the way, and they would okay.
Let me see if I have this right. If I'm not mistaken, 6'5", like 220. Now let's pull it up and see if I'm correct on that. Nope, 6'6", 232.
Oh, yeah, that's a big boy.
Jesus.
But I really hope that this is kind of Silverberg finding his footing a little bit, because he hasn't had a fantastic season, and he's been a 20 goal scorer for not last season, but before that for pretty much every full season he's played, or close to anyway. So I really hope that he picks it up in the last kind of half of this season, because I think we're really going to need that, because he's been playing on our third line, filling in on the top six when there's injuries and stuff, and second power play as well. But yeah, I would just really love for him to have a good second half of the season and going into playoffs as well, just to kind of figure it out. So that would that'd be really nice.
Yeah, I absolutely would as well. As much as this team has definitely improved offensively, it's still a team that could use some help offensively. And if it can come from within, that's even better, right? So yeah, I would love to see Silverberg, score a bit more. That's why we pay you, buddy. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not to say he's had a bad season, and he was out for a bit, wasn't he?
He was out for a little bit, yeah, but 3 goals as well is not exactly what you expect from Silverberg by any means. So
no. So yeah, I really like that, and he looked relieved to score, and it was one of those plays where he's just like, I'm just going to get out of the box and join the rush, and like really no time to think about what he was going to do. So maybe that just helped him overcome like the mental aspect of not scoring in however many games, and now that he has, it might be like, and also the energy that the rest of the team got for it. Like, it was late in the second period, and then for like the last couple minutes of that period, like I think the Ducks really just owned it. Yeah, I was like, man, we could get another one and tie it going into the intermission, and I think we would have if there was maybe an extra minute. I think that's all we would have needed on the clock.
Yeah,
but, that would have been good. We still obviously ended up tying it, but maybe we could have won in regulation. That'd be kind of cool. So
yeah, there's the potential there.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome to see Silverberg, because obviously I'm a big Silverberg fan. That's the jersey I have, his name is on the back of the jersey I have. So that'd be awesome. But that's really all I had to say about this one. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I got nothing else to add. I think I've kind of done my venting. So
okay, sounds good. Yeah. Well, on the last episode, I said for this 5-game road trip, like, we'd probably win one of them against the Leafs or the Bruins. Montreal, Ottawa, and Detroit are all winnable. So I think 8 out of 10 points is not unrealistic for this team. 6 is maybe realistic and kind of the lower end, but 8 out of 10 would be awesome. And so far we've got 3 out of 4 against the 2 tougher teams out of the 5. So
yeah,
like, if we win against Montreal, Ottawa, and Detroit, that's 9 out of 10 points on this 5-game road trip. Even if we lose one of them, 7 out of 10, like, I'm not mad about that.
Ottawa's going to be the interesting game, I think. I'm jumping ahead to our upcoming game discussion here a bit, but Ottawa's a team that can they're either absolute dog shit or they'll just take it to you, right?
Yeah, there's no in between.
Yeah, and it's I'll clarify and I'll make this a little bit nicer. They do their best, like they take it to you, but it doesn't work for them because something happens, or they take it to you, right? So there's really no in between with this team. So that's the one game I'm like, I have no idea actually what could happen here, just seeing what Ottawa's done to a bunch of other teams around the league. So
yeah, exactly. It could go either way. It depends on how they're feeling, really. So
yeah, the game against Montreal, I feel a lot better about. But then again, this team also just took the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday to overtime for a 1-1 game, right? So they have the potential still, and they're starting to get some guys back as well after COVID and everything like that. But they also have had guys go down. I believe it was just today, Jonathan Drouin went down as well, and he'll be out for a bit. And so I don't know. You don't really know with the Canadians either. There's a bit more leaning though towards we should be fine as long as we play our game, right? So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if we just play our game against these teams, well, we should win. It's just whether or not we show up. Like, say for this game against the Leafs here, like, we just didn't show up. And when we did show up, it looked fine, but we, like, for that minute at the end of the second.
But you got to show up the whole time, right? And that's another thing that, like, it's similar to last year, right? Where we're just not doing that. So we need to do that.
yeah, for sure.
I know it's easier said than done, but like, come on, like, we've seen the pieces work, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to get to another point where, especially with guys healthy again, we start to question this team. So
yeah, and I think it'll be fine. It's one game in an 82-game season, and it's against the Leafs. So, like, I if we start to see this trickle into the Montreal and Ottawa and Detroit games, then I'm concerned.
To get worried.
But, as much as we ranted for the last half hour about this game, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's just the more recent one, and I'm still feeling feelings.
Yeah, which is fair. You're allowed to feel your feelings.
So. I was watching the game here, like finishing the outline and everything like that, and it was the Raquel attempt at the shootout, right? And my girlfriend comes in after the shootout because she just hears like out in the living room, just come on, Rick Rack, fuck. And she's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, the game just ended and we lost in the shootout."
Yeah. All right. Let's. I've got one point here. This is just kind of a general one. It sort of ties into this game, I guess. But like Letari's goal tonight, that beautiful tip off the little floater from Shattenkirk, like
just a tip
to get us tied. That was awesome. Yeah, just a tip. And I really love Letari. I have him on one of my fantasy leagues. Unfortunately, though, and this is kind of a fantasy hockey rant, but it's also a rant that ties into the team in general. So just give me a second here. But I have Letari as a depth guy on one of my fantasy teams, 32 team league.
That explains it. I was like, damn, you're going down to Letari. What the hell?
Yeah. We get, I think 20 spots, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So 15 guys play, and then you have 5 on the bench.
You're filling like a whole roster pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. It's very close to that. So that's why we're going into guys like Letari.
Makes sense.
And I have him as a depth guy because when he plays, he scores and he gets you points. The unfortunate thing is, whenever I put him into my roster, because I'm like, oh man, he's killing it right now. Like Ducks are playing 4 games. Awesome. Let's throw him in. He doesn't play a single fucking game all week, even though he scored 2 goals the game before, had a goal and an assist the game before that. And then it's like, we got this guy back. And yeah, you've been killing it for us, but taxi squad. And
ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Eakins.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when guys are injured, and then I like set my roster for the week, and I'm like, well, Letari hasn't played in 4 games, so obviously I'm not going to put him in. Yeah. And then Tuesday rolls around, Letari enters the lineup, fucking 2 goals and an assist, 5 hits and 4 blocks. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I've just resorted to keeping him on my bench because I can't justify dropping him. But whenever he's on my bench, he does really well in the games for us. So I'm taking one for the team, but I'm just miffed about it because not only for my fantasy team, this team is just better with Letari on it. He's like Mason McTavish, but older, honestly. Gets into,
I don't hate that either.
Yeah. He gets in front of the net and he just like gets to those dirty areas, goes for tips, bangs in rebounds. He fills in on the power play because he only gets called up when guys in our top 6 are injured, and they're just like, fuck it, you can go. Then we don't have to, mess up our whole line chemistry. And God forbid we put fucking Derek Grant on the power play, but that's another conversation for another time, not tonight. But they put Letari on there, and he's just like taking one-timers and, either getting goals or assists on the power play, and he's killing it. And obviously it's probably not sustainable. It's like, well, I'm getting to get called up for a couple games, so I'll just show these guys on the bench what I can do, and then they're like, sick, we appreciate what you do, AHL for you. See you later. Next week. Like,
exactly.
But I would just love to see Letari in a more permanent role on this team, both for my fantasy team and because he was undrafted, and also for the Ducks because he was also undrafted. I had to look it up. I was like, where the fuck did this guy come from? And he was undrafted, and we signed him.
Well, you see, when a man and a woman love each other very much, they have a special hug. Oh, sorry, you didn't mean that far back. Okay.
No. Yeah. But yeah, I just love Letari. It's great to see him in the lineup when he actually gets a chance. Even though it usually means a guy like Troy Terry or Sonny Milano is injured, but he just fills in so nicely, and like he scores, and that's all you can ask for, is it not?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep.
Okay.
He does his job.
Yeah, exactly. He does it better than fucking most of the guys that like he fills in for.
He's doing it better than Silverberg at times. Like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. How many points does Silverback? How many points does Silver Bitch have on the season? Silverberg, if you're listening, I love you, buddy.
Man, do you think we'll ever get, say, like Dallas Eakins or any player on this show. They're gonna listen to this and be like, "All right, what am I getting myself into?" Silver bitch. Fuck Dallas Eakins and his thoughts.
Yeah.
Ryan Getzlaf's a bald fuck. Okay, yeah, we're not. we're actually not gonna do this next.
Yeah. He has, I guess, 14 points. Stats aren't updated here, so. Yeah, 3 goals, 11 assists on the season for 14 points in 38 games.
Okay, so he's at least getting the assist, but you still expect a little bit more though, even if he's on the third line.
Let's take a look at my boy Vinny here, though.
It's because he's not putting up points.
My boy Vinny, in 15 games played, again, probably not including tonight, would have, I guess, 5 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. 5 goals, 3 assists for 8 points in only 15 games.
Okay, I'll do the math here quick. Sorry. So it was 8 points.
8 points in 15 games because he only got a goal tonight, right? I don't think Lettieri had an assist.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
No, he did not. Yeah. And then my other boy, Silverberg here, 14 points in 39 games.
So Silverberg is running a 0.36 point per game pace, and Lettieri is at a 0.53.
Yeah, and actually, sorry, that would be 8 points in 16 games. Because
okay, so yeah, he's running every 2 games he gets a point.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's better.
Better than Silverberg.
Sounds better to me. I don't know.
Smaller sample size, right?
Yeah.
Like it's maybe if he ended up playing the whole 38 games, he maybe would go big drought and it happened.
Still 15 games though is a pretty sizable amount, right? I mean, like you look at like rookies who are on their ELCs, they give them 9 before they send them back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because 9 games is a 9th of the season. So 15 games I'd say is a pretty sizable amount.
Yeah, that's true. So also just looking here, he's from Excelsior, Minnesota, which is just a badass name for a city or town. So I wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, so I don't know why Lettieri doesn't play more. He's got way more points than any of the other guys on our bottom 6.
Yeah.
So why we continue to keep Delorier in the roster consistently, why Buddy Robinson is the first call up, and not to take away from Buddy Robinson, he does great things as well. But I don't know. I would prefer Lettieri over any of those other guys first. So
maybe this is actually a big brain move by Dallas Eakins being like, guys, we're not supposed to be this fucking good. We got to scale it back a bit.
Or we could just be this fucking good, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be nice too. But I mean, I'm still happy with what we got. I'm not, but I am. What I mean?
Drew, how great would this podcast be if the Ducks were just even top 3 in the league?
It'd be great.
Yeah, we'd have so much fun. Wins all the fucking time. I bet.
All right, the Ducks won, and we're going to talk about this instead.
Yeah, I bet the Carolina podcast and the Florida podcast are having fantastic times because every time they do an episode, they have a win to talk about.
Exactly.
So it would be great. And I mean, for the most part, we've had wins to talk about as well. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough about Lettieri, I think. At least I feel good about it. But yeah. Okay. Into some news, do you think?
Sure. I mean, it's pretty quick news segment, so.
Pretty quick, yeah. Actually, let's take a break. My mouth is dry from yelling about Lettieri for 10 minutes. So. Quick break, and then we'll get into some news here.
That's good.
Hello, hockey fans. My name is Nick Berlansky, host of the Tip of the Iceberg podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network. My co-host, Nick Horwat, and I talk all things Pittsburgh Penguins, from top news to game analysis and other unconventional hockey talk. We've got you covered. New episodes every Monday. Tune in at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcast from. And let's go Pens.
All right. There was a clip from why am I forgetting the show right now? It's like a UK talk show, and I absolutely love it. Why can't I remember that? It'll come to me later. And Benedict Cumberbatch is on it,
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
He's asked about his documentary that he's talking about penguins. And he's like, nobody corrected me for some reason. And he kept saying like penguins.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets like more funny. Like he like changes the pronunciation like partway through it as well. But like none of it is accurate.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. It's the Graham Norton show.
Graham Norton, yeah.
I was like, it's Graham something, but I couldn't remember. Yeah.
I was like, Jeff Gorton? No, that's the GM of Montreal. No, it's not Jeff Gorton. Yeah, Graham Norton. Yeah, I love that. So those interviews are great. So
yeah, it's a good show. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mason McTavish named to the Team Canada Olympic roster. One of the few young kids that are on there, along with Owen Power, and I feel like there was another young one.
I don't remember.
Oh no, Bedard was rumored, but I don't think he.
No, Bedard wasn't on there.
So yeah, maybe it's just McTavish and I already forgot the other kids. Fucking Owen Power. Are like kind of the two,
the first and third overall picks from last year's draft. Hell yeah! As a Canadian, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and then other guys. Like veterans named to the roster, just names I recognize, like David Desharnais, whichever Stahl is
Eric.
Yeah. I didn't want to be wrong. I was pretty sure it was him.
Even Josh Hosang,
Josh Hosang, yeah, that's right.
Just for the Toronto Marlies this year, he's not on an NHL contract, and I think it got to the point as well that they were like, "Okay, we're not like the Leafs were like, we're not going to take away this chance for him because he's been tearing it up down there." That they could bring him up to the NHL if they wanted. He just had to sign him to a contract, right? But he didn't want to risk that for him. So good on the Leafs for that at least. But
yeah, absolutely.
And McTavish this year, it was so great to see his name pop up for that.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. He's gonna. The guy he deserves it too after like how good he was doing at the World Junior before that shutdown.
Yeah, exactly. Which, in case anybody forgot, was 5 points in 2 games, 3 goals and 2 assists. The guy has, but hasn't played a whole lot of hockey this season. Actually, played his 9 games with the Anaheim Ducks, 3 points, 2 goals and an assist. Played 3 games with San Diego. I forget the circumstances of that, but typically they can't do that.
It was because he was injured, so it was just a conditioning stint.
Yeah, right. That's what it was. San Diego, 3 games, a goal and an assist for 2 points there. Then he went back to Peterborough for a little bit before he was traded. In Peterborough, though, he had 5 games played and 7 points, 6 goals and an assist. And in his 2 games so far with the Hamilton Bulldogs, the team he was traded to, 2 games, 5 points, 3 goals and 2 assists. So he's been tearing it up with very little games played. Like professional alone, he has 5 points in 12 games. It's pretty respectable, just under 5. Like,
absolutely.
Like a 50% there. You go to junior though, he's played 7 games and he's got 12 points there. And I'm curious to see, because we've heard that the World Juniors are going to be, rescheduled for the summer. And I'm curious to see if, they just continue from where they were at, or if because teams had the forfeit of that, you replay all the games. So those 5 points might get brushed away technically for like stats and stuff like that. But if that continues there from where he was, though, like he's already on a solid pace going into the summer. So
absolutely.
And that's for the World Junior. Like, imagine going to play for the Olympics and then come back for the World Juniors a few months later. Like that's how many guys does that happen to? Probably not a whole lot.
Probably not very many. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome for.
And I mean, Owen Power in the same circumstance there as well, right? Of he'll play in the Olympics and a couple months later, like in the same year, played the World Juniors. So it's definitely different levels of hockey for sure. But there might be a couple recognizable faces, or not recognizable, like familiar faces, I guess, from the World Juniors as well, right? Because none of these teams are carrying NHL players, so it'll be interesting to see what happens for sure, though. But congrats to Mason McTavish on being named to Canada's Olympic roster. So it almost makes me want to buy a Team Canada jersey, almost, but they aren't that nice.
They're that nice, yeah.
No, I said the only way that I would buy one of those jerseys is if the Canadian women win gold. That's honestly what I'm going to be watching more than anything. So just because, no disrespect to the guys or anything like that are going to be going over there and playing with that. But like, it's really not best on best, right? Whereas the girls, like the women's game at the Olympics, is best on best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I really enjoy. If you don't enjoy watching women's hockey, first of all, what the hell is wrong with you? Second, you need to watch more and like really enjoy it actually, because it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So even if you can already predict that it's going to be Canada versus the States for the gold medal.
I mean, yeah,
you have that anticipation of the game, right? Mm-hmm. It's Hillary Knight versus Marie-Philippe Poulin, right? It's like you're just like, fuck yeah, let's go. So that's but yeah, so that's the only way I'm buying one of those Team Canada Olympic jerseys this year, because I'm not a crazy fan of them. But yeah, that's the only way I buy one though, is if the Canadian women win. So and that'll be a Poulin jersey as well. Like I'll make sure to get her name on it and stuff like that. So yeah, it would either be her or Sarah Nurse as well. I enjoy watching her play. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're kind of I guess the bigger names on the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, not. I mean, there's other ones too, but yeah, they're kind of the big ones. Those are probably the ones I would get as well. I see Marcus here chiming in. Also, hello, Marcus. Good to see you. He's saying that he used to watch all the NWHL games on Twitch. Yeah, I remember they did that. That was end of 2020. Was it not?
Yeah, for that season. I think they were doing it last year as well, but if I'm not mistaken, they're doing something with is it ESPN this year? Let me double check.
I think it's ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, let me double check here actually. WHL broadcast.
Just while you're doing that, I knew there was another younger guy that made the team, and it's Devin Levi, goaltender. He's only like 20 years old.
Oh, yes.
The team. So was he on the World Junior team this year? Oh no, I guess he's 20.
Not this year. Not this
last
year.
year.
Yeah, it was last year. Whose system is he in again?
He was drafted by Florida. They just love their goalies down there.
Yeah, they do.
Spencer Knight and Devin Levi. Oh boy.
Oh, I guess it's not the NWHL, it's the PHF now. That explains why I couldn't find it for a second. Yeah. So up here in Canada, the PHF is on TSN. Here we go, November 5th, 2020.
Yeah, so it's probably ESPN down in the States.
PHF announces 2021-22 broadcast schedule on Twitch. So those games are still on Twitch as well. It's just not under the NWHL banner. It's the PHF, the Premier Hockey Federation. Okay. But yeah, still those games and that sort of thing. Oh yeah, right. Marcus is correct here. Actually. Oh yeah, he was traded to Buffalo, right in the Reinhardt trade. Yeah,
I just looked at where he was drafted and assumed he was still there, so that's on me.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, Florida seems familiar, but I don't think that's actually where he is. But yeah, so you can still watch the NWHL, or not the NWHL, the PHF on Twitch. There, I have no problem giving out some free advertising for women's hockey. Go watch this; it's fucking amazing. And let's take a look as well at the Secret Dream Gap Tour as well, which is the PWHPA, the Professional Women's Hockey Player Association. They're going to be going to Ottawa right away here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here if I can find it. There it was right there. 6 days ago. PWHPA announces Ottawa as location for the next stop for the Secret Dream Gap Tour. Sonnet, again, serving as the title sponsor for it. And those games, typically you can find those games with I believe like Sportsnet was showing them up in Canada or that sort of thing. So I'm sure if you can find a not so legal stream as well, though, to watch those games as well. Because that's the only unfortunate thing about women's hockey right now, is that the game is so divided between the PWHPA and their Dream Gap Tour, right? Trying to raise maybe not raise awareness is the right thing, but like bring more attention to the women's game and that sort of thing, and try to get the pay that they honestly deserve, right? And then you have the PHF as well, who are doing their own thing and are building that as well. But there's just kind of the almost like kind of the value things is what it sounds like. It's kind of the riff right now still and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So, but also the the PHF, I think it was just last week or 2 weeks ago, announced that their salary cap was going to go up from 250,000 to 750,000. So a massive jump right now, which is great. Just for, I mean, it's not comparatively close, but let me just see if I can figure out like the comparison if the NHL did that from like this season to next. I believe the NHL this year is it 82 million? I believe
this year it's 81 and a half.
81 and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be the equivalent of the NHL next season, or 82 and a half is what it is this year.
No, that's the projected for next year. Is it not?
The League and National Hockey Players Association agreed to the rise to 82.5 million prior to the 21-22 season. Yeah, so it's 82 right now. Either way,
what? I don't believe you.
Okay,
I'm okay.
Maybe I'm just reading this out of context. Either way, 82, 81. We'll go with the 81 just for argument's sake. That's the equivalent of the NHL going from 81.5 million this season to all right, every team has a $244.5 million cap next season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, which I think even just that crazy jump, like just to compare that, shows how underpaid still these women are for their game. So yeah, if you can, absolutely go support some women's hockey. It's great. So I definitely watched more women's games when we had hockey at our university here than I watched men's. I'm not gonna lie. So but
yeah,
it was fun to watch. So
yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to find the salary cap. It doesn't.
It's all good.
Yeah. Cap Friendly says it's 81 and a half. So
okay.
Yeah, it's not much.
I'll trust Cap Friendly then. So like I said, I was probably reading that out of context.
Potentially. Yeah, because I think they were talking about raising it or like they decided at the beginning of this season that they could raise it for next season, I think. So I don't know. I could be wrong about that though. I have no idea. But anyways, yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about here, this is more of just like a shout out, not really anything we have to discuss too much unless you have anything you want to add. But Keith Yandle is officially the Iron Man now. So playing, what was it? I think it was 965 consecutive regular season games, passing Doug Jarvis there. So that was I think that was Tuesday night that he did that. So
yeah, it was just last night that he did that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's honestly very, very impressive. Yeah. Like they said, he hasn't missed a game since March of 2009.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. And then Phil Kessel's coming up. He's only like 30 some games behind him.
I think it's like 23 or something like that. He was at
maybe
he was at 940 when Yandle was about to tie it. So yeah, he's probably like 940, 941 now. So
yeah.
But I think we'll see both of those guys take it, knock on wood, barring any injuries or sickness or that kind of thing. The amazing part is that those two guys are still going throughout
with COVID,
the pandemic. Yeah,
absolutely,
that's fucking impressive.
Yeah, they're probably like double masking and like just in hazmat suits until they get on.
They have like the giant hamster balls around them. Nobody get near me.
Yeah. So they're just getting like booster shots every fucking day.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta stock up on this shit.
Yeah. They're like putting it into like their pregame like carb load meals, and like they're just like injecting it into their orange juice at breakfast.
I think obviously, again, congrats to them. There was a great tweet I saw from Nasher though, who's like, Keith Yandle can play 950 or 965 consecutive NHL games, but I can't get 8 guys to come out to a beer league game on any given day kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, man, yeah, that's perspective right there.
Yeah. I mean, when you're making millions of dollars, I think you show up for that.
That's fair, but that's still impressive because I believe it's Kessel and Yandle are the ones in like the 900s of that, and then there's a massive drop. It goes to Brent Burns at like 6 something.
Yeah.
So, which I mean, that's still impressive in its own right as well. But like, that is a massive drop off there, though, of like 300 some games. So
yeah, exactly. I remember Cogliano was up there for a long time. I forget what happened, if he got injured or something, but he was pushing it. Like he was in the late 800s for, I believe.
Yeah, he was going for a bit. Oh yeah,
I'd have to look that up, but yeah, I just wanted to shout out Keith Yandle, because that's just huge.
That's huge.
Like, it's got to show respect for that. So
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I guess while we're here, Kessel's 941. Oh yeah, Patrick Marleau is actually the other guy at 910, who's still playing.
Yeah, but I believe that one stopped. That stopped a while ago.
Oh okay. Oh yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, May of 2021. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. For active, it goes Yandle, Kessel, Burns. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Cogliano is at 830, or his stopped at 830. That was back in 2018, but yeah, I still don't remember what happened to that. So yeah, the next active one is 639. They actually still have Patrick Marleau's labeled as active, but even though the end date is 2021, so yeah, I don't know, it's weird, but yeah. Where is Marleau this year? Actually, now that I think about it,
he's a free agent, I believe. I don't think he was signed anywhere.
Oh, so maybe that means his streak is technically active still.
Maybe. Yeah, unrestricted free agent.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So then May of 2021 would have been like the end of last season when he was with the Sharks. Is that he went back to the Sharks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess technically, if he signs somewhere, maybe that doesn't,
that doesn't stop then. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Huh. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have it as active. Yeah. Get him up there. Get him some more games.
Yeah. Make the games played thing even more untouchable. 1779 right now.
That's insane.
Honestly, even just get the guy to 18.
Yeah. What, 21 games? That's like that's like a quarter of the season.
Yeah. Come on.
Can we sign Patrick Marleau?
We don't need Patrick Marleau, but somebody sign him, please.
What do you mean? He can take us. He can be a good veteran depth guy for the playoffs.
Yeah, but we got Ryan Getzlaf already for that.
We're gonna have both.
We don't need both. San Jose figured that out when they had both. Thornton and Patrick Marleau.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay, got a couple upcoming games here. We already kind of touched on them a little bit, and I kind of touched on them in the last episode as well, but we can get you a perspective here, Nate. So
just recap. I kind of gave my perspective, I guess, already. So just recap them and we'll get into what's backing.
Sure. January 27th, which is Thursday, tomorrow, today, whenever you're listening to this, at Montreal, 4 p.m. Pacific. So killing us with the 4 p.m. starts. 5 p.m. for us, 4 p.m. for the Pacific with the East Coast trip. So, Thursday, second half of the back-to-back. Probably see Stellaris in net for that one, since we saw Gibson tonight. And probably no Letary either, because fuck him, right? And January 29th against the Ottawa Senators, also at 4 p.m. Pacific there. So, yeah. Okay. Nate. Oh.
So the nice part about having some time and like actually, not having time for everything as well is that I have a little bit of a backlog now, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to keep it to two things. The one I've teased for the last little while, and I finally want to get to it. But the other thing here first is, Carter, I'm going to get a little personal with you for a moment. You don't have to answer specifically as to where you do this.
Okay.
Where do you typically and fair warning as well, we're going to get slightly more than PG,
more sexual stuff.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
How come whenever you pick the things for what's quacking, it's like
it's not,
it goes sexual?
It's more just under that banner. It's not necessarily sexual.
Okay.
It is, but it isn't. Carter, where do you typically buy your condoms from?
Just the grocery store,
that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. If I'm in a pinch, it's like the convenience store down the road.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
And it's like, they give you like one in like a tiny little box. And then the guy behind the counter is like, I'll be $8.50. And it's like, 10, keep the change. I got to go.
And he just goes, have fun.
Yeah. But usually grocery store. Actually,
okay, grocery store.
Actually, sorry, I should say it used to be the grocery store back when in like high school and stuff like that, when you couldn't do it quite as often. But now it's Costco. So
there you go.
Yeah, buy in bulk. Plus, you get like some nice like airtight tin containers that you can use for like leftovers or whatever.
Oh my god, that's great. Okay, let's just name off some other places. So you said the grocery store. There's convenience stores.
There's Costco.
There's Costco. There's gas stations.
Mm-hmm. There's if you're looking for free ones, you can go to sexual health clinics, at least in Canada.
In Canada, you can do that.
So
yeah,
shout that out. Practice safe sex, kids.
I never thought to look on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, you know what? You can probably find some pretty sick deals on there. Yeah.
So I came across this ad, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this is hilarious.
I scroll in different towns, like primarily looking for jerseys, honestly. So I happen to be looking in Calgary because we're only like an hour and a half away from there. And I came across this ad for Trojan condom packs, $10 each.
Okay, wait.
In stock in Calgary. There's like 3 different kinds here, and I'm just confused. Who the fuck is selling condoms on Facebook Marketplace?
Nate, I have a question. So
I don't know if I have an answer for you.
You better, because I want to know like how you came across, like what were you searching for on Facebook Marketplace that you got condoms? Were you searching for condoms?
No, I wasn't searching for condoms. I'm not searching for condoms on the Facebook Marketplace.
If you're really in a pinch, I'm gonna tell you right now, Facebook and eBay and Kijiji are not the places to look.
No, they aren't.
If you need them that badly, just let your boy know. I got you. That's what I'm here for.
Dude, straight up, it was just like, when you type in the city and just whatever kind of pops up. This is what popped up. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this guy's trying to start a business because he's got variety, right? He's got the ultra thin. He's got the bear skin. Well, actually, he's just got 2 bear skin. But variety. Yeah. Take your pick.
Oh man, it's
in stock. $10. That's competitive too. That's the going rate.
Yeah, he's got the the economic advantage.
Can you message and ask if he delivers?
I'm not doing that. I am going nowhere near. I took a screenshot of the post and I got the hell out of there.
Do you I know that some people post like joke things on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, there was a great one that I saw of somebody posting their mirror, and the shot of them ends just below their waist, pretty much. It was like naked legs all the way up. And Facebook Marketplace apparently has this thing now as well that you can comment on posts in the marketplace, and oh man, that was filled with comments. It was a very nice mirror, but
yeah.
But like, yeah, I genuinely don't know if this is actually a joke one or not. From what I saw,
I don't know. It has to be.
This guy's probably just in like a depressed mood. Like he just got dumped or something like that, and he's like, "I don't need these. Somebody take them."
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah,
he's in that like just like state of like, I'm never gonna have anybody again kind of thing.
Yeah, or maybe it's just tough times, with the pandemic. People are really hurting for cash. And
I bought way too many condoms. I need to make my money back.
I've got way too many. Like I still have a use for them, but I can't eat condoms. So I gotta go buy some ramen instead. So I need to sell these. $10 each, $30 gets me ramen for the week, and I'll just pull out. Right. You're just weighing your options there, risk reward. Right?
Oh my god.
Oh man, I think we really need a not safe for work tag on the
sometimes
segment.
Yeah,
most times.
Sometimes. Yeah, I should really be on that more, considering I joke with people on Twitter of like, somebody posts a great picture of John Gibson, and I'm like, where's the NSFW tag on this? Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Do you want now the thing that I've been like trying to get to for like the last week or so?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So I will pull up the product we're going to talk about here, because this is a review for a product on Amazon. So this here that I'm pulling up on screen is Veet hair removal gel. So basically the idea of this is you would apply it where there's hair, and instead of like shaving or that, like it kind of burns it away essentially.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but I've heard horror stories. You have to be like very careful with this kind of stuff.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And this person was definitely one of those who needed to be careful. I'm gonna plug my phone in because this is definitely a story time. So this review was left by A Chapel, who gave it 5 stars still. All right. So again, this is for like hair removal gel. The title of his review, though, was A Warning from Across the Pond. And this was back in 2012, and it's like just kind of making its rounds again. So shout out to our buddy Adam, who sent me a TikTok of somebody reading this. And I'm like, okay, I got to see if I can actually find this review. And I did find the actual reviews just so I could read it for you instead of playing a video. After having been told my danglies look like an elderly Rastafarian, I decided to take the
hot start.
Yeah, that's a good start. I decided to take the plunge and buy some of this, as previous shaving attempts had only been mildly successful, and I nearly put my back out trying to reach some of the more difficult bits. Being a bit of a romantic, I thought I would do the deed on the missus' birthday as a bit of a treat. I ordered it well in advance, and working in the North Sea, I consider myself a bit above some of the characters writing the previous reviews, and wrote them off as soft office types. Oh, my fellow sufferers, how wrong I was. I waited until the other half was tucked up in bed, and after giving some vague hints about a special surprise, I went down to the bathroom. Initially, all went well, and I applied the gel and stood waiting for something to happen. I didn't have to wait long. At first, there was a gentle warmth, which in a matter of seconds was replaced by an intense burning and a feeling I can only describe as being given a barbed wire wedgie by 2 people intent on hitting the ceiling with my head. Religion hadn't featured much in my life until that night, but I suddenly became willing to convert to any religion to stop the violent burning around the turd tunnel and what seemed like the destruction of the meat and 2 veg. We're like maybe a third through this.
Oh, God. I thought that was it.
Sorry, I got to compose myself here.
Yeah, take a minute.
Struggling to not bite through my bottom lip, I tried to wash the gel off in the sink and only succeeded in blocking the plug hole with a mat of hair. Through a haze of tears, I struggled out of the bathroom across the hall to the kitchen. By this time, walking was not really possible, and I crawled the final yard to the fridge in hope of some comfort of cold relief. I yanked the freezer drawer out and found a tub of ice cream, tore the lid off, and positioned it under me. The relief was fantastic, but only temporary, as it melted fairly quickly, and the fiery stabbing soon returned. Due to the shape of the ice cream tub, I hadn't managed to give the starfish any treatment, and I groped around in the drawer for something else, as I was sure my vision was going to fail fairly soon. I grabbed a bag of what I later found out was frozen sprouts, and tore it open, trying to be as quiet as I could. So I took a handful of them and tried in vain to clench some between the cheeks of my ass. This was not doing the trick, and some of the gel had found its way up the shooty channel, and it felt like the space shuttle was running its engines behind me. So like so descriptive with this. I love it.
I have an image, and it's not pleasant, but it's very effective.
This was probably and hopefully the only time in my life I was going to wish there was a gay snowman in the kitchen, which would give you some kind of idea of the depths I was willing to sink to in order to ease the pain. The only solution my pain-crazed mind could come up with was to gently ease one of the sprouts where no veg had gone before.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, alerted by the grunts coming from the kitchen, the other half chose at that moment to come and investigate, and was greeted to the sight of myself ass in the air, strawberry ice cream dripping from my bell end, pushing a sprout up my ass while muttering, "Oh, that feels good." Understandably, this was a shock to her, and she let out a scream. And as I hadn't heard her come out and in, caused an involuntary spasm of shock in myself, which resulted in the sprout being ejected at quite some speed in her direction.
Oh no.
I can understand that having a sprout farted against your leg at 11 at night in the kitchen probably wasn't the special surprise she was expecting. And having to explain to the kids the next day what the strange hollow in the ice cream was didn't improve my status.
You didn't just throw that out right away? Oh, man.
So, to sum it up, Veet removes hair, dignity, and self-respect.
Wow, that is a glowing review.
Still give it 5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it worked. So
I just wanted to read that. I'm not even going to continue with this. So speaking of 5 stars, you're listening to us on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please give us a 5-star rating. If you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitch, give us a follow or a subscription, but however that works. I'm still trying to figure it out. Not gonna lie. Be sure to like us on Twitter and Instagram at Quack Report Pod. If you have any other great reviews that you find, you can send them to me at Tate Namas, TateNhomas, and they might get read here. So, especially if they're fucking as good as that, but that's going to be a hard one to top.
To top, yeah, that's for sure. I don't want any part of that, but you guys can tweet and DM me at Carter_Pos, POTTS_97. Maybe if you're with me on the whole Letary thing, that would be good. You can also reach us at Quack Report Pod and the network at HockeyPodNet. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.